Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Pet parents, stay tuned. This one's for you. Our guest today is well known for his ability to train temperamental pups. An animal behaviorist whose byline reads, I guide humans to ensure their parents become a balanced part of our society. His expertise is much needed from families who rescue dogs in the UAE. So welcome to the show, Balram, aka the Buddha. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
We need your help.
Sure,
the city needs your help.
So how did you get into this profession? Did you always have like a fondness for animals and just, how did you get into training basically?
See, I grew up near a dog pound, which is a place where I used to spend most of my time. Okay. So, and I had a small inclination of going to the animals which everybody runs away from.
Yeah.
So they found out I had talent to work with these guys. So the formal training started at that shelter or a kennel, which you can say that. But normal middle-class Indian family, did my MBA, 18 years of corporate life, struggled through that. I realized I'm not good with humans, I'm better off with animals. So this was my passion, which became my profession. Once I came to UAE, I used to help a lot of rescue agencies to rehab and rehome dogs which are abandoned because of behavior issues, severe things. Slowly my name started spreading and here I am.
Interesting. Wow. 18 years corporate, then jumping into rescue, helping rescue animals.
I'm really at peace right now.
Amazing.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And you mentioned rescue shelters. So as we know, there are a lot of rescue shelters here in the UAE. A lot of families will take on rescues, which can sometimes lead to problems. Like, what are the common problems that you see with rescue pups?
Okay, so first thing what we need to understand, I commonly hear this concept called forever homes, okay? And that is tagged with love, affection, a toy, which your cuddly thing, which you're bringing to your house. That is the major reason that relationship breaks. Because what you're bringing to your house is an animal. That's the animal's identity. It's not an insult calling a dog, an animal, an animal. So they don't need any training, they don't need any taming, they are happy by themselves. But unfortunately, you're bringing them to a human world. You're bringing them to our life, okay? Civilization started when humans tamed themselves into a society. We live by rules. I did not come and jump on your table. You guys did not run to me when I came to the door. So when you bring an animal to your house, you need to guide them on these parameters. People bring them as toys, people bring them as teddy bears, expecting them to give 4-hour homes. But as that relationship starts taking shape, you see that animal is just behaving like an animal in a human world, which will cause a lot of issues in a society. So it is our responsibility to first guide them how to live in a human world, how to be part of our life. So once that boundaries are set, you can have a beautiful relationship with the animal for next 15 years. People get very uncomfortable when I use the word tame. So it's not, taming does not mean that I come with whips and sticks or something. It is that basic principle which a human kid also learns as it starts growing up, from potty training to how to behave in a social environment. And once you give that, it is perfectly fine.
Okay, so would it be right to call you the dog whisperer?
See, you can call me anything that you would like to, but I basically help, I understand them in the way which they want to be understood. Okay, it's not how we want them. We have a lot of perceptions out of them, right? I basically understand what they are and help you understand them and bring that relationship in balance where you can function properly in your house.
So I want to ask, like online, you see all of these, like, signs, right? Like if a dog's ears are folded or like turning a certain way, it means this. If the tail is down, means it's sad. Tail is up, means it's happy. Are these things that we see online pretty much generic for all dogs, or is it different?
No. I wouldn't consider them generic. A lot of behaviors can give indications, but just generalizing like a tail is up and wagging, that means the dog is happy. No, that means just the dog is excited. You can get attacked by a wagging dog, a dog with a wagging tail.
Okay.
So don't generalize it. It's just some indicators, and plus to read an animal language, it's not so easy. You need to spend a lot of time. Like when people comment to me on these things, I rather, kind of take a step back, because I'm talking from an experience where for last 4 to 5 years, I'm meeting around 160 dogs a month, among other animals.
Wow.
So that itself gives you a strong learning about them. It's not about what you learn in academics. It's about what you learn from working with them. And every day, every time I meet a new dog, it gives me a new indication. Oh, I never noticed this. So that, don't generalize stuff. And plus, based on that, there is a wrong direction now the dog industry itself is moving towards, where the first thing when a dog trainer comes in, it's all about sit, stand, jump, roll over and all that. See, that is good, but that's not the foundation. You can live perfectly, have happy life with a dog who does not know any of these tricks. But you cannot live with a dog which is not integrated into your house. So that's what you need to focus. Don't generalize. Focus on your lifestyle. What is your expectation, and teach your dog to be part of it.
So would you say that that's one of kind of the major mistakes that we make as pet owners or wannabe pet parents, is that we generalize and set expectations?
Definitely. See, and that's where the entire, to an extent, social media is going, where you set an people think, oh, I just bring a dog, I take him for a walk, feed him, oh, that's going to be a wonderful relationship, let the dog do whatever the dog wants. And that's the reason why animals get abandoned, because the people don't understand them. And the whole environment right now is causing a wrong expectation. Oh, these guys are toys, let's bring them, it's all easy. You need to have a set of discipline to kind of guide them to be part of life. One thing about animals is pattern. They love patterns. That should be provided to them. If you take 2 generations back, all these breeds of dogs like Huskies, German Shepherds will never be inside a house with a family or something. They were basically bred for specific jobs, specific works, and they will be put into that. Now, does not mean you cannot bring them to a family, but when you bring them to a family, you need to integrate them to that household. They have different energy levels, different strength, different weaknesses. That, like a human kid, has to be understood and integrated into your lifestyle. If that doesn't happen, there will be a clash.
Okay, so I want to ask you a few tips on like training, just the very basics, like, just potty training for one. But before I ask you that, I want to get into like rescues. A lot of people are hesitant to get rescue animals home just because they know they're going to have abandonment issues. They're going to, be defensive and have all those attributes and, characteristics. So is it possible to train and rewire a rescue dog, like at any age? Is that possible?
That's one beautiful thing about animals. You can guide them at any age. Okay. I do a program called POP. It's like a pet parent orientation program, where what I do is, before you get a pet, I basically give you a small set of, basically a session to kind of guide you how to bring them, what you should do. On top of that, I'll help you understand that whether you should get a pet or not. Because a lot of people in UAE lifestyle cannot have a pet. So you should understand that's the limitation of the environment which you live in. Don't bring an animal to your house which you cannot take care unless with time and resources, and then end up the animal being suffering. Humans are. See, I don't say a lot of people are bad. They just get it for a fancy or something. Initially their intentions are really good. They want to have a pet. They want to take care of it. But once they bring them to your house, then they are basically stuck with this is not what we realize. This is really, really tough. And so in this program, I tell them first, this is the expectations. This is what you should understand when you bring an animal. And this is the step-by-step method of introducing them to your lifestyle. There is no standards. The way I keep my animals in my house may be different from how your expectation is. But that expectation has to be taught to your dog. I always say, don't change your lifestyle for the animal. Make them part of your lifestyle.
So what limitations should there be set on people to, if, say, for example, we say we want a dog, but you say that you give people a guide, as in if you're not ready to have an animal in your home, like what are the limitations there?
What are the limitations? You should not have a dog.
So
so simple thing. If you have a lifestyle where you're out from morning 8 to 9 or 6, then don't get an animal. That's one simple stuff. If you feel you might have to shift from UAE in some due course of time, and do you have the financials in place to kind of manage your dog during that shift? Can you take the dog? So think about, it's a very important thing which people should understand. Then
and it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. Plus, having a pet is also a financial responsibility. The vet bills, If you are a new dog owner, the training which is required, the whole concept of spending time with if you're getting a pup, for example, if you're getting a pup, you need to go through a potty routine. Otherwise, the dog will not learn on its own. So all these things has to be understood with does it match with your lifestyle? Can you provide this? Okay, that's how. And maybe option is getting a rescue dog. If you don't want a pup, you don't. But even when you get a rescue dog, it requires its own set of guidance to be part of your family. So that's basically.
Can I give you 3 scenarios and your tips on just training your dog? I mean, of course, apart from getting it to you, training them just, to overcome that. Okay, first of all, potty training. How would you
Did you get a pup right now?
No, I did, but these are like very common pet parent questions.
See, potty training is based on a simple 2 principle, which is very similar how we train a human kid. Number 1, a washroom. Second is scheduling. Okay, a dog should know there's a place which is called washroom, and on a regular intervals, dog has to be taken into that space on and off. Okay, so once he starts doing his business there, you reward it. Okay, and second part of one common mistake is you get a puppy, and if you let it run freely roam around the house, you invite 3 major problems, and one of them is potty training. Because for a dog, genetically, they just keep their living space clean. Like, for example, a pup sleeps here, this is the pup's living space. He will pee and poop here and come back and sleep here. Rest of the house, other than his living space, is your problem, not his problem. So from a very young age, you need to create that space. We call it space training, where the dog understands what's a human space, what's a dog space, and how to behave in a human space.
So,
2 principles. Set up a place where you can call a washroom. That can be anywhere, inside, outside, depending upon your lifestyle, depending upon the size of your dog. Then you have to create a regular interval to take the dog to that particular spot, bring him back. Apart from that, he should be supervised. He should not be just left to run loose. And in case he has an accident, there is no corrections initially, because dog does not know where he's supposed to pee. So just the common practice which I tell people on a general notice, take a tissue or a pee pad, clean up that, and bring that tissue and pee pad to the spot where you want him to pee and leave it there. Okay. So next time when you bring in the next interval, when you have that scent, he starts doing the business over here.
When we were growing up, I think people were putting their dogs' noses in the pee.
See, there is a lot of different methods to train, but I would just say that method, for example, you do that, dog pees over here and use that technique. Dog just knows he's supposed to pee here, but he does not know where he's supposed to pee. First, teach the dog what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
So on that, they will start falling into that pattern, and it'll be really good.
Okay, so second scenario, the dog is a biter. Like anytime someone comes home, anytime there is a delivery person or anyone it sees outside and goes for a walk, it starts like snapping. Okay. How would you deal with that?
That's a very broad topic. First of all, we should understand why is the dog biting. But now, even aggressive biting and snapping is not a bad behavior from a dog. I constantly come across this concept, oh, that comes from a trauma or bad past or something. Absolutely not. That's the normal way of how dogs communicate. If you did not guide them in a very young age that this is not how humans interact, a dog can can bite. That's very natural of them. Now another kind of biting is playful biting. Again, it's way of communication. Now you have to mention 2 aspects. One is inside the house and one is outside the house. Now, inside the house, for example, guest comes into your house. You said the dog goes and bites the person. That is not your problem. How did your dog leave you and go to the guest? For example, you have a small kid in your house. I'm a stranger walking into your house. Will you let the kid come to me first?
I mean, like, I think it's, like you said, like, it's not like the dog is a frequent biter. I'm just giving a scenario where it's like a random, like, one-off.
No, accept it. See, even random, the concept there is dog decides to bite. Dogs decide to use his teeth on skin. Before we get there, I want to understand a concept where a guest is coming to your house, a stranger is coming to your house. You have a small kid in your house. Will you let the kid go to the guest and jump on him?
I don't know.
No.
See, when a kid grows, we kind of tell them how to politely greet a guest, sit down, let them come in. So that training has to be given to the dog. If your dog leaves you and go to the door first, the moment the doorbell rings, what happens next is not your choice. Dog will decide that. So the first step is to teach the dog what they're supposed to do. When guests comes in, you have a job. You come and sit with me. Be polite. Politeness is for humans, not for dogs. Right? So if you let the dog run to the door, then it's going to be either he'll be too friendly, jumping and going scratching. Either he'll sniff the person, he'll bite the person. Whatever happens next is dog's choice.
Interesting. Okay. Third scenario, when it barks non-stop, you know, when owners leave the house. We're talking about this before the show. So if the dog is very, you know, like needy, and every time you leave, he starts barking non-stop, how would you deal with that? Okay.
That's a concept. Generally, we call it separation anxiety. Now, again, we teach them. Now, separation is practiced by humans. We do separate. We go to XYZ reason, office, work, whatever, gym, grocery, dinner, come back. In a natural dog world, either the pack stays or the pack moves. It never happens that one dog is left and the pack goes and comes back. It's a general, on a general note, right? As I said initially, now they're not living in their natural world. We are bringing them to human world. And what do? It's puppy, it's cute. You spend 24/7 with the puppy. Puppy starts growing up, then you want to carry on with your life. That's the time you will not be able to leave the puppy. The moment puppy makes a noise, you run to the puppy. Oh my God, what happened? So all these interactions, you are teaching the puppy, first of all, you are part of the pack, we'll be always with you. And whenever you make a sound, we'll come running back to you. Right? When he starts growing up, by 2 year plus, it's a fully grown dog. Now he wants you to be with you. Okay? When I am called in for a separation anxiety, I don't ask them what does a dog do when you leave. My question is, what does a dog do when you are in the house? 99% have the common answer. Oh, he's such a sweet boy. He's always sticking on to me. If I go to washroom, he'll sit outside the washroom. So when your dog is so connected to you and cannot be comfortable away from you when you're in the house, how can you expect the dog to be comfortable when you leave the house? It's simple. It's very
logical,
simple.
But it's very tricky to.
It's very. See, they are so simple. For humans, they are complicated.
Yeah.
We need to understand as they are. That's it. Guide them as they are. I have. When I was working, I had 3-4 dogs always in my house. They know my routine. They are part of it. We have fun. Once I'm off, they just go and settle down themselves.
Just on Simran's question about biting, we actually got a message from one of our readers. She said she takes her dog to a really well-known dog park, and her dog has been attacked there 3 times from another dog who was on leash. So this lady keeps her dog leashed. A dog who was on leash attacked her dog. How do you know when your dog is ready to be unleashed in these public parks?
Okay, I will come to that question by helping you understand a broader concept called socializing, that is going big in social media right now. Period. Dogs are not social animals. There's no questions about it. They are pack animals. And by socializing, what are we expecting? Taking the dogs to an environment with other dogs and humans and not expecting them to behave like dogs. You expect them to behave how you want them to behave, right? Again, it comes back to obedience. So first, your dog should be obedient with you. Okay. If a dog which is pulling you and walking you, that dog will do what dog wants to do when he meets another dog. Your problem is first, your dog is not with you. Right? So now dog parks, in terms of the question of when you should off-leash your dog. In public places, I see a lot of, I don't want to kind of get into that. I've seen a lot of training where public dogs are left off-leash. People are walking the dog off-leash. Trainers are walking them off-leash. It is illegal to walk your dog off-leash in public. That's the UAE law. Okay, you can be fined. It is not allowed. So now, I can a lot of trainers which are very talented can train their dog to walk off-leash with them. But when I train a dog and hand over it back to the client, are they capable enough of walking the dog off-leash? So you're kind of asking for a disaster. So on public places, I would not recommend, I would never agree to be dog walking off leash. Second is in a dog park or something, when can you off leash your dog? When your dog responds to you in one sound. You can see a post in my page where I was hanging out with my dog. my staff basically moves inside, he runs to him, I call him one sound and he's back. That's the time you're ready to off leash your dog. Otherwise, two animals will interact in the way they want to. Attack, animal bites, animal attack, or oh my god, that's so bad we feel it is bad. They are communicating.
Oh, it's just normal for them to start fighting. Okay.
Who are you in my space? This is my area. It's my turf. Who are you?
Okay.
See, they're just communicating. That I also say, when you get two people taking decisions of two dogs, and see, if you don't train them, in the scenarios where both the dogs are submissive, no problem. One dog is dominant, one dog is submissive, no problem. Both the dogs become dominant. That's the time you have trouble.
You know, it's so interesting, like everything you're saying. Before the show, before you joined us, we were talking about $1 Million Listing, which is a reality show that's coming. We were talking what industries would it be really interesting to have a reality show on, and I know I would watch what you do every day. It's so interesting, and I know so many people have so many questions. If people want to reach out to you specifically and get in touch, how can they do that?
I'm actually most active on Instagram, but I have all these social media platforms with my Facebook and TikTok. I have my number on the Instagram page. More than happy to help.
That's amazing. Working with 160 dogs every month. Wow, blown away. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
And thank you for helping the Dubai community manage their pups.
Thank you.
Needed.
Always here.
Guys, that is all we have time for this Monday morning. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. A massive thank you to Buddha for joining us. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.